The session will explore how the UAE and Ecuador can advance their digital futures by equipping young people with the necessary skills for a technology-driven world. It will highlight opportunities in innovation, education, and digital ecosystems that can support youth empowerment, amongst a whole lot of other things. So it is my pleasure to be joined by our panels today. Your Excellency, Khalfan Belhoul, always a pleasure to be on stage with you.
Likewise. Great to see you, Jane.
Great to see you too.
To be with the guests here.
And of course.
A very women-dominant panel, which I'm extremely proud to be part of.
Thank you. The UAE has positioned itself as a sandbox for future technologies. What are the most effective ways governments can turn innovation strategy into real opportunities for that next generation?
Well, thank you so much again, Jen, and great to see you. And I would have loved if you, ladies first, but you put me under pressure, so I'll just take the answer. But again, a pleasure to be both with you and looking forward to the conversation. Given the time we have, Jane, I'll be very quick with this, but I think when it comes to innovation, the standards for us are things that I'm sure everyone knows here in this room. We're going through a speed of innovation change faster than any other time in the past. But the special story for us at the United Arab Emirates is this change hasn't been foreign to us. For those of you that know, the country is 50-odd years old, and we've gone through so much change in such a short period of time that people sometimes, especially the ones that come to the UAE for the first time, are sometimes in disbelief. If I go way back to when I used to study in Boston 100 years ago, it was mid-90s, so when I was there and people tell me, where are you from? I'd say, Dubai. They look around, or the UAE, they look around, looking for more answers. And I used to unfortunately relate to unfortunate circumstances in the region. Back then it was the Gulf War, and I used to say, do you remember Iraq and Kuwait? And then I say, we're a city next to it. And then they'll relate. Now fast forward, if I go now to Boston again and I say I'm from Dubai, it's one of two answers. Either, wow, I've been to the UAE or Dubai, or wow, I've heard so much. So it's changed so much in such a short period of time. And why am I saying this? It's because for innovation, in order to adapt to change, you need to be, there are so many components, but the most important one is to be really agile and quick in decision making. And the country has gone from an oil-depending country to a non-oil depending country that has more than 200 nationalities living in it, prospering, coming up with great ideas, because there was a perfect connection between several components, and I'm not saying we're perfect, but I'm saying the connection between those components that are needed in innovation, which is speed of regulation, funding, the conversations between the private sector and the public sector, the linkage between academia, and then I think more work needs to be done on an R&D front. So once you connect all those pillars together, whether it's ideation, research and development, then you have the right capital components for it, R&D, granting system, venture capital funding, impact funds from the government, agility in the regulation, involving the private sector in innovation, because the data that the private sector and the innovation that the private sector has supersedes any government. So you need to actually enable it. And I'll close by saying, I'm looking at the time and I promise you I'm gonna end here, Jane. I think the trick now is that the speed of innovation is faster than ever. That's the biggest trick. So we would never be at par with how innovation is changing. I think the smartest cities and countries are the ones that mitigate the gap between innovation and their regulation, because no one will be at par, especially in this speed. We set rules now. 1 week later, there's a new innovation that cancels coding and promotes prompting. So how do you really adapt, and how do you make sure that you have an agile system that adapts? And the scary part is that things are going much faster than any industrial revolution in the past, which means that this agility needs to even become much faster while you mitigate risks.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Gilda, we heard there from His Excellency Khalfan, one of the things he mentioned, amongst other things, was academia. How is Ecuador adopting the education on system to meet the needs of the digital economy that we're seeing today? How is that adapting?
Well, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here. And since the government, we are working in the development of the society since education. When you think about innovation, you definitely gotta go and see and work in the youth and education. Now we are working in the development through two pillars. One of us, it gotta be infrastructure. We are giving our students and our youth and our teachers equipment. We are reducing the gap of connectivity. And then we go to develop the talent of our youth. Through that, we have a full scholarship program for teachers in institutes. We have given them 3,000 scholarships for developing careers on technology. We have pushing our university system to open and create more postgraduate programs and careers on development on toward these new and disruptive technologies like big data and cybersecurity and AI, among others, because we want to work with the academia to connect with the productive sector. We are creating new jobs, so we need the people to be prepared. And as well, we are working in the innovation laboratories. We name it CREA, which means like creation, because we want the teachers to explore whole new options of technology and education in order for them to be strong to teach our students how to work differently with the resources and equipment that we are given to them. We have a program that is quite special as well called Digital Guardians. They are focusing and working with our kids for giving them the technology tools for them to be secure in this environment, these digital environments, and as well to work with technology with an ethical way, which is quite important for the country. And we are pushing the connection between, like I said, our productive system and the needs not only of the country, but the world throughout our talent formation.
Thank you. Your Excellency Sade, we heard lots there about, the education system and how it's adopting. What does it mean to invest in our digital future and in young people? And what role does the National Assembly play in ensuring that Ecuador's progress in connectivity and digital policies translates into education, into jobs, and real opportunities for this young talent?
Well, first of all, it's an honor to be here. I am a congresswoman from the National Assembly of Ecuador. I'm 28 years old. I was a Minister of Environment at 25, so I've been in both sides. And I can tell you is that the Assembly now, especially the President Noboa's party, is working together with the government and making from the Assembly the legal framework for the government to make these public policies that are necessary to make the changes that the country needs to attract more investment. And also for us, for the youth, now we are creating the laws that we know that we need with the support of a young president. So it's very important to work hand to hand and to make these policies actually work, to give them the structure from the Assembly and to make them into action from the government. So that is happening for the first time in the National Assembly of Ecuador. There's a lot of young people that are congressmen, congresswomen, and they actually, it's very empowering. And really the technology nowadays also, as His Excellency was saying, it's a world that is moving quite fast, and especially young people, they want to be, up front of these changes and to be part of the change, and also to contribute to have a better country, because they don't want to find a job overseas. They want to stay in our country, and our country has all the potential to as the ministers before were saying, it has all the potential because we are a very rich country in a lot of things, especially in the productive side of things. And for young people, also the President Noboa has made a lot of programs. Like one of them is Jóvenes en Acción, which translates to young people in action. So you get to work, you get paid by the government, and it's really encouraging. And for us, the young generation that represents almost the 40% of the population of Ecuador, really, we can see a change. And it's important, as I said, to work hand to hand with the government, making the legal framework for the government to make the public policies, and actually for the people to see the benefit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Excellency Khalfan, we heard there what Ecuador are doing on their national level. Digital transformation, though, is a global challenge, as we know. How can governments collaborate internationally to share their knowledge and accelerate the innovation that we need to see going to the next generation?
Yeah, thank you, Jane. I'm going to state the obvious, but I'm going to state it again and again and again. I think the world has been throwing to us so many curveballs and so many signs and indications across board to tell us that we should unite and we should work together in so many topics and aspects. So I think it cannot be more obvious. There should be a global alignment and conversations. If you look at the geopolitics, there's fragmentation, unfortunately. If you look at the pandemic, it was fragmented in the way, had we had a unified approach, you saw small countries with bigger ambitions that dealt with it much better than bigger countries. And had there been more alignment, that was another sign that there needs to be more conversation. Digital economy, you mentioned it, with the policies and procedures, with the startups that became unicorns and beyond, and digital companies became having a net worth more than countries' GDPs. And you see the value of the digital economy growing and growing, but you also see barriers of regulatory hurdles across board, with even economical conflicts all over the world. So I think there are so many signs, so many across board, where we actually, and again, it's easier said than done, of course, but there needs to be some kind of an alignment to create scalability, to build bridges, to create friendships around the world, because I think at the end of the day, it's the connections of humans. Humans with the right intent will make the world a better place. And hence, economies will thrive, startups will grow. I mean, we are a small country size-wise, but our ambitions are massive. And we do not depend on our population to grow our startups. We look at the whole Middle East and Arab world and beyond to scale our businesses and our startups, because 10 to 11 million people isn't just enough for those startups to grow. But if I'm going to set up a business here and I won't be able to grow in Europe and beyond, then there needs to be more conversation. So I think, I mean, to your point, it's a very long answer that I probably reiterated 6,000 times, but I think there needs to be, especially leveraging on technology, there needs to be alignment and global blueprints that can help create of the world a better place for everyone.
Thank you, Your Excellency Gilda. Very quickly, we've got about a minute left on the clock, and I'd like to offer you both the opportunity to answer this. But in your opinion, what does the future hold for Ecuador and its young people?
It's a future full of opportunities. Being here in this international stage means that Ecuador is open to the world and is working together with our international friends. We have a president and a government that is focused on youth and education, and we are making Ecuador a stronger country, making our youth people stronger and more intelligent people to have them more opportunities. And we are open up to the opportunities of the world because we are proud of who we are and we want to share it with the world.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Last word from you. You're the perfect example of what the future holds.
Thank you so much. Well, we are also a small country with a lot of potential, and finally, the world is seeing us, is seeing what we have, what we offer, is seeing that our people are capable of, being authorities, especially young people that can also show new technologies. And we are a country that it has had this potential for forever, but thanks to the government working hand to hand with the National Assembly, now finally we are moving forward. We are moving forward very quickly, and the people in our country are seeing the results, which is the most important thing, especially the youth. So we're very happy for that.
Thank you. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for our fantastic panel this afternoon.